Everybody. I welcome you to this February event at Murray Hill Institute. And I'm very excited because we've just been chatting. Teresa and I, my name is Terry Karen, and I'm a board member with Murray Hill Institute. And I haven't been seen for a long time, so I'm happy to be back. It's been a while. And it's going to be a great night tonight. Teresa and I have just been chatting with Michelle Baker ourselves and had a really nice time. And I'm very excited that you're all here tonight. We have this Texas gal with us tonight, and she's from Austin. And I know she's got better weather than we have up here. So she can enjoy that. But let me just tell you a little bit about Michelle. She is the founder and the CEO of Michelle Baker Enterprises, and she wears many hats. She has had a 25-year career in corporate sales. She's an entrepreneur, she's a motivational speaker, and she's a confidence coach committed to the success of her clients within a more holistic and person-centered environment. I really, really want to encourage you all to go to Michelle's website because she has a very fascinating and inspirational story, and it's really wonderful. So please go to her website if you haven't had a chance already. Tonight we asked Michelle to talk about one of her favorite themes, which is unleashing your superpowers and cultivating your inner voice champion. Yay, that's exactly what we need these days. And after her presentation, we'll do a bit of a Q&A. But I want to let you know that if you'd like, while Michelle is speaking, if you'd like to put something on the chat, if you have a question you'd like her to clarify, you can chat, and then I'll, relay the question for you in real time. But if you can keep your questions to the end, that's great too. But if you want some clarification, just go ahead and put that on the chat on the side. I will not delay anymore. I really want you to meet Michelle, and so please welcome her, Michelle Baker.
Hello. Right. Well, I am going to, let's see. We just did this, right? This is technology. Okay, here we go. I'm going to do a screen share. There it goes. Yay. All right. And then we'll make this, looks like someone is attempting to come in. So I'll make this full view. So this top topic, and let me do it again because it did not show up. 1 second. Wow, intriguing. Is it showing?
Yep.
All right, going back. So this talk topic is one of my favorite talk topics. I tell this story because I was the consummate insecure, apologize for breathing individual. So having come to the other side of this is so fun, and it's such a blessing to lead women especially to really champion and cultivate a voice inside of you that cheers you, applauds you, and prods you to do the things that you wouldn't even know you're capable of if you did not have that voice. So one of the things that I want to share with you is that a champion is not a destination. There is no there. The whole point of what the work I do is to empower you to understand that life is meant to be a journey and an adventure that allows you to be the best you can possibly be in the moment now, so that as everything comes into your sphere, you are prepared to invite it and to receive it as the opportunity to grow and be better. Not that it's meant to take you down, it's you're actually asking for it. And that's going to be interesting as we talk about that. So one of the things that I have for you, I created a deck of cards on COVID. And it was me having that time that I didn't anticipate because I was a traveling speaker. And all of a sudden I had a bunch of time. And I thought, what can I do that's creative to empower and inspire my clients so they can actually have me with them without me being with them? It was an interesting question. The answer was create a product. So I created a deck of confidence affirmation cards. And the way these cards work are they have values on them. And some of the values listed are I am funny, I am wonderful, I am listening, I am creative. And what I did was add a question prompt. The one thing that most people rarely do is ask themselves the question. You heard it said before that everything you need is inside of you. And this is how you cultivate the habit of asking yourself questions. So for anyone who wants to go to any of my social media channels, which are Instagram, LinkedIn, and Facebook, you can find me and tag me at Michelle R. Baker and use the hashtag MHSuperPowers. And if you hear me say something, you can put it up as like a statement. You can take a picture, a screenshot, but I'm just going to go through and then I'll do a drawing tomorrow and give away a deck of cards. And as many times as you put up something, that's how many times your name will come up in the drawing. Sound good? I'm assuming everybody said yes. So, all right. So super is one of those words that when you look it up as a synonym, it's not just super duper. It's outstanding. It's wonderful. It's excellent. It's magnificent. It's amazing. It's incredible. It's terrific. It's beautiful. So it's all these different things. And when you actually find your superpower, you will be able to express this in a way that it's not just about you being super, but people actually feel better being with you. When you are truly standing in your powers, the superpower, people are better off for having been with you. It's not just so you can get compliments, not just so you to get stuff. It's so you are the gift that you've been created to be to this world. I don't know why my slides are going backwards. So like this is the S on the chest. And who am I? This is what makes me happy. This is what makes my soul sing. Just to give you a brief background, I didn't start life as someone who was smiling and happy. I come from blue collar parents who were forced to get married because my mom got pregnant with me. So my earliest recognition was I was the mistake that was creating the nightmare. And that's all I thought growing up was like, oh, if I hadn't been born, none of this would be happening. So I went on to make a mistake and I was incarcerated by the time I was 20 years old. Well, I figured out quick that I didn't want to do that. So what I did understand was that I wanted not to go back to jail. So I started asking myself or asking questions like, okay, who doesn't go back to jail? The people who keep jobs. Oh, how do you get jobs? How do you keep? So I started asking questions to do things that I thought would make me happy. By the time I looked up, I had a college degree, I had a house, I was engaged. I had all the things that I thought would make me happy, and I was miserable. I couldn't figure out why I wasn't happy because I was doing what I thought I should have to do, and I was not being who I was called to be. So then I started thinking about what were the things that lit me up. And I started doing more of those. And what I found that lit me up more than anything was inspiring women. I was at that time a leader in a women's ministry. And I found that inspiring women was my gift. It was my talent. So I started reading books and asking more questions. And I left corporate America as a temporary turn to be my sister's caregiver. She's up in the top right with me. And I never looked back. I got invited to a women's networking meeting. I started a business. It's been 7 years. And I have just loved life every minute. Not totally in love. There've been ups and downs, but I have found my soul. And I tell people I gave my sister this great gift of love, and I got the gift of life and remembering that who I was. So follow your bliss is a saying, and it's absolutely true. So what we're going to go through are a couple of slides here, and there's an acronym that I use for this presentation, and the acronym is BEING, B-E-I-N-G. So the first letter is B, and the B is believe. Why do you believe what you believe? And I've phrased the question so when you read it, you're actually asking yourself. This is the trick that many people don't tell you. Start asking yourself questions. You are born with 100 billion brain cells. You are genius, but you don't access it because you keep looking outside of yourself instead of inside yourself. Oprah says it best. We become what you believe, not what you want. Want is still a state of not having. Belief is a state of receiving and believing. So these are examples of people who believe something so far greater than them, it created a cause that they didn't even know. They just believed that something was either wrong or it could be better or different, and nothing and no one stopped them. Finding that belief, and it doesn't have to be world changing to anyone but you. But finding what you believe that lights you up from the inside out and follow it with every fiber of your being is what will make your life so amazing You won't even remember when it wasn't. Candy Lightner stood up against drunk driving. Something happened that was traumatic. She had a child that died because of a drunk driver, but she believed that there needed to be legislation, and she changed everything because she believed. Rosa Parks believed that it wasn't right for her. I have to get up. Look, I got on the bus. This is my seat. Why should I give it up? And she ended up changing because she didn't get up. These two women are my favorites for people in business. Sarah Broikley cut off the feet of her pantyhose because she was wearing white pants to some summer event and believed women should feel good in their clothes. It's a $2.5 billion industry she created because she believed, but her belief didn't happen overnight. 3 years and 100 prototypes before that first pair hit the marketplace. Oprah Winfrey's family was poor. She got teased for wearing clothes that were made of potato sacks, but she found something that lit her up. Listen and find people in your industry who you admire. Go back and listen to who they were when they were where you are now. What did they believe? So you can find your belief, the thing that will light you up and give you the inspiration from the inside out. This is some facts about belief. 90 to 95% of who we are by the time you're 35 years old is a set of memories and behaviors, unconscious habits, hardwires that you don't get to break. The only way to change it is to lock onto something that's so powerful that it's a vision in your head that you believe it even though you can't see it right now. And that's the work that I do, is helping people create visions that will help them recondition their behaviors and habits. So find out what's vitally important to you, that is so passionate that your heart almost hurts when you think about it and you can't even imagine not doing it, having it, and being it. That's the only way you'll change your current circumstances. So the next letter is E. It's experiences. So what generally happens in life is you tell yourself a story based off of the experiences you're having, right? So one of my favorite stories is when people come and tell me, well, somebody so and so is doesn't like me, or so and so said something, is talking bad of it, and I'm like, well, how do you know that? And they're like, well, such and such happened. My question always is, did you ask them? I rarely have I met anyone who ever said, yes, I asked them, because if they'd asked them, they wouldn't be talking to me, right? I know what the answer is. I just always ask, did you ask them? You make up a story. We go back. Little quick tip. Understand that you have anywhere from 60 to 100,000 thoughts a day. Most of those thoughts you don't even control. Even as you're listening to me, you got stuff running in the back of your head. You're thinking about what you need to do. You got all day long, you got thoughts. So trying to guess and figure out what somebody meant is ridiculous and a waste of time. Ask them, right? Get clarity. So stop telling yourself stories and start, or if you're going to tell yourself a story that they like you, they adore you. This is the emotions you can go through at any given point of day. Understand your conditions don't dictate your emotions. You dictate your emotions. Just like if you've ever been at a party and there's somebody there complaining, somebody not enjoying themselves, it's just that easy to decide you want to have a good time. Just that easy to tell yourself that this matters or it doesn't matter. If nobody's dying, it really doesn't matter. It's just a moment in time. Ask a better question. So this is one of the facts that I love to share with people about your like what happens. 55% of your life is body language. Like when I get on Zooms, I look to see who's on camera because it says a lot about the people who turn on camera, right? Because 55% of how we communicate is with that camera on. Everything I get on, if I can't be on camera, I don't go. You get to see this. I work very hard to smile, to have posture, to make eye contact. I want you to see me. I represent me well, right? The other part is tone. So if you hear me tone, so if I got on here and I was like, well, I think confidence is very important, and it really would make a difference if you said nice things about yourself. And I think, right, so all of that, 93% of how we communicate is unconscious. You cannot change your body language and your tone in the midst of fear. When you're insecure, uncertain, not feeling good, thinking someone's talking bad about you, you will not change on the drop of a hat. That's called being a con artist. They're the only person who can do that in the midst. 7% are words. So how do you turn that body language and tonality on your side? You must create the standard and habit of being present and showing up, practicing beforehand. One of the things that, because I'm on so many Zoom meetings and presentations, I always turn my camera on so I'm always prepared. I don't have to figure out how to not slump, how to not look bored, how to keep my face smiling, because it's my standard. I understand that this is my calling card. So I make certain that I practice my calling card at all times. So we're going to be going back to meetings. If you're not practicing this, you're in the habit of not being prepared to be face to face. I tell people this because this is everything, right? Especially in business, right? There's no second chance to make a first impression. A quick trick about the 7% use of words. The next time you get mad about an email or a text, realize you're only getting 7% of communication. Ask a question, right? People like to get a text and get, I can't believe they said that. You don't know what they said. You only got 7% of the communication. So start asking follow-up questions instead of telling yourself a story that somebody's against you or something's working against you. Start asking a question. So this is what they found in research, is that people like to recall rejection more quickly than they like to recall affirmation. Study after study after study is why people will tell themselves a story that somebody's going to say no, somebody's against me, somebody was talking about me, so it's not going to go my way. People short-term memory and decision making generally references past pain, past rejection, past failure, more than it will attach to a belief that things are working in my favor. The only way to start attaching your responses and the stories to a belief that is working in your favor is you must have a vision that's compelling and clear, that's strong enough to start reminding you that everything is working in my favor. I want you to understand, life is always working in your favor. It just doesn't go your way. Most of the time, life doesn't go your way, and it's always working in your favor. You're just telling the story so it goes the other way. You have the complete capacity to start saying, oh, what if they do say yes? Oh, what I tell people all the time, the only people that don't like Michelle are the people that haven't met Michelle, right? It's just me telling a better story, right? So now when I go places, I rarely think that somebody's not going to like me or I'm not feeling insecure because I've constantly told myself that story over and over and over. So my unconscious mind, where the confidence exists, now believes it. So guess what happens when I walk in a room? I'm looking for people to like me, right? So again, it's the story you tell yourself. So people who can master positive self-talk are more confident, motivated, productive. Think about it. You've been in a room where somebody is magnanimous confident and everybody's attracted to them. They're the center of attention and you're just like in awe of them, right? Yeah, it could have been a room where I was, I'm just saying, right? So this is what happens. It's practice. Remember, I was the person that apologized for breathing. So it's just the repetition and having a clear vision that this is what I'm called to do. And in order to do it, I must be believable. So is anybody, I don't know if we have any questions. People are just listening at this point.
No questions yet.
Okay. So the letter I, and these are just, so I'm giving you the facts, I'm giving you tips. So you're getting a lot of information. I want you to understand, you do not need to remember everything. Your unconscious mind does 90% of the work. So as long as you hear me, your unconscious is a storehouse and a warehouse. Every talk you've ever heard, every video, every movie, every book, every conversation, everything you've ever done is inside of you. You just don't reference it when you're in a state of fear. You only get to it in calm and clarity. That's when you have the ahas, the revelations, and the epiphanies where you go, oh my God, I know this. Oh my God, I remember this. Oh my God, I can do this, right? So don't worry that you're hearing a lot. I am just chalking you full of information so that you have a resource, so that in the midst of the next time you go to do something, you're going to have a storehouse of information that I've given you tonight. So that's all you need to remember. I don't need to remember everything. It's all inside of me. So sometimes people feel like it's deluge. I do that intentionally because I'm talking to the unconscious. Is everybody okay with that? Yes. All right. So having said that, investing time. Nothing works until I do, right? So you're in a state of thinking that you don't have enough time. You wish you had more time. You run out of time. You're feeling frustrated and overwhelmed. You can't get enough done. You never seem to get things finished on time. Time is an illusion. We all get the same. So how is it that we all get the same amount of time, but some people can create lives and become 100 millionaires and billionaires with the same 24 hours in a day as somebody who's homeless and struggling? Because it's the mind. Time is finite. 24 hours, 1,440 minutes, 86,400 seconds. Your mind is infinite. Your imagination makes you infinite. It works for you or against you, period. Your soul is energy. Energy cannot be destroyed or created. Energy is only positive or negative. Whatever you believe, you will create. And the only way to get it to start to work in your favor is when you invest in your mind. The most successful people on the planet don't waste time teaching themselves stuff they don't know. They hire skilled professionals smarter than them to teach them the habit. And then once they have the habit, they go create the results. What most of the world does is try to get the result and never learn the habit. So they go from result to result to result. They go from job, oh, I got promoted. Oh, I got a house. Oh, I bought a purse. They tell you what they're doing. They never talk about who they're being. When you're being, it's a habit. It's unconscious competence of success. So investing in your mind is everything. If you don't remember anything else tonight, understand that your investment must be in the 12 inches between your head, and it's going to feel painful. It's going to feel uncomfortable. It's going to probably make you cry. It's going to make you frustrated. You're going to start and stop and start and stop. It is the hardest thing you've ever done to invest in your mind if you're not doing it until you're an adult, because we're meant to have done it when we were children. And it'll be the best investment you've ever made in your life because it becomes exponential. Your mind grows habits. So when you create good habits, they grow into powerful habits. When you create habits that make you feel bad about yourself, they grow into shameful habits. This is what we're meant. We're meant to be told we can do anything, be anyone, have anything. The minute you start walking, it's like a Super Bowl touchdown in that house. Oh my God, look at the baby. Ah, everybody come see the baby walk. Come see the baby walk. They lose their mind when the baby walks. Then what do they tell you after you start walking? No, stop, don't. No, stop, don't, because they want to keep you safe. No, stop, don't. But then nobody comes back and tells after you understand that you can be safe, and then to rewrite, to overwrite the no, stop, don'ts. But yes, you can. Yes, it's okay. Yes, and start answering your whys and giving you rationales. That stop asking me why, right? You're curious. You got this mind that can imagine all these things, and it just gets conditioned to shut down. So you get scared to ask why. You get scared. You start thinking fear is the answer. You start making up things, right? Because you have all these emotions that are triggered when you go outside the comfort zone instead of realizing that everything amazing in life is outside your comfort zone. And that's the work that I do, is helping to people recondition their mind to understand that you must follow your curiosity. It's everything. Your curiosity is the only way to find your unique beautiful. It's the thing that's calling you outside of yourself. It's not going to take you anywhere but to somewhere amazing. You do not get the deepest levels of ahas and revelations without following your curiosity. And thinking that you know something is killing you. When someone is telling you something, if you already know it, keep listening. A master understands that I can hear it 100 times. The 101st time, I just learned it a new way. The 1,000 times, I just learned it a new way. The 10,000th time, I just learned it a new way. The more times I hear any concept, that's the more people I can now give it to when I meet them. It just makes me masterful. Stop stopping people from telling you you don't know. You've never, there's no end. There's an infinite number of ways that you can know any one piece of information. Allow yourself to keep learning. Follow your curiosity. That's how you invest your time. And that's what will change and turn your mind in a favorable way to work for you instead of against you. The letter N is nurture. This is my favorite letter, by the way. You must love yourself first above all else if you're able to do anything in this world. We cannot give from an empty tank. You cannot give what you don't have. It does not, it's literally against nature. If you don't have it, how would you know when somebody else got it? It doesn't even like, it intrinsically doesn't make sense. And I want you to think about yourself. When you're enjoying yourself, when you're feeling happy, when you're feeling confident about something, everybody has something they do that they feel good about, that they know that they do well. I want you to think for a moment about if it's baking, if it's sewing, if it's crafting, if it's gardening, whatever it is, whatever that thing is that you do well, that you feel like you're a rock star when you do it. I want you to think about how good it is for someone else to be around you when you feel that way about you. Now, if you could feel that way about you all the time, think about how much more you would attract into your life. How many more people would be attracted to work with you, to hire you, to marry you, right? To recommend you, to refer you. That's all this work about the superpower is. It's just simply helping you to be the best you can be so that other people get the blessing of the gift you are. You're this amazing, unique, beautiful gift. There will never be another you. There is no one like you. But until you start loving and appreciating you, don't expect anyone else to, right? Because everybody's selling themselves all day long. Every time you have a conversation, you are generally attempting to convince somebody of something. You're always selling yourself, right? So when you love and appreciate yourself, how much is it easier it is to make that transaction happen for you? That's all I'm saying. Put your oxygen mask on first is the saying. It's very true. Take care of yourself. You're a gift when you take care of yourself. The one thing I know to be true is successful people are masters at self-love, right? One of the things that I learned when I first started investing in coaching around my mindset was getting calendars out and calendaring vacation, ensuring that once a month I had facials and massage time. First, I felt guilty because I wasn't raised to do that. Oh my God, I'm starting a business, I'm barely making ends meet. How can I go spend a day in a spa, right? But think about it, how much better I am for my clients when I show up and I've taken care of myself, when I've done my meditation, when I've done my exercise, when I've eaten good and I'm not in a place of shaming myself. What better is that for them? So true self-care is self-love. It's essential for your success in life. And it's the gift. If you have children, especially, taking care of yourself, remember, we do what we see, not what people say. So the greatest gift you can give your child is to be successful yourself, because they're going to mimic you. All of that conditioning in our mind, we don't get rid of it as adults, right? When you don't take care of yourself, you just gave them a reason for therapy. I'm just saying, right? And the last letter is G. And then I'm going to take questions and engage, because you guys and this what I tell people, what I know, what I do for a living, the questions are your superpowers. Your ability to ask a question is everything. To not care what anybody thinks, you must learn to start asking for what you want. ASK is an acronym, ask, seek, and knock. So G is, do I really want what I say I want? It's gratitude. When you truly believe that things are working in your favor, when you truly believe that life is going to deliver what you say is going to deliver, you are grateful. You feel good. Go back to the feel good. When you know that everything, no matter what you're looking at, remember, believing is knowing without saying. You can't see it, but you know. You know that you know that you know. And gratitude is just the behavior that supports the belief, right? Well, I tell people the easiest way to get along with someone who's difficult, compliment them. Find one thing about them you like and go compliment them. When I used to go places, when I started this whole journey, I used to be so jealous. Like I tell people this stuff and they're like, are you kidding me? I used to hate every woman. She was skinny, she was blonde, she was da 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 da. There was always something I could find about because I came from people who gossip and talked about people. So intrinsically, unbeknownst to me, I had this thing in my head where I always looked for someone to be better, right? I always looked to pick on people. And to get away from it, what I started doing was I started complimenting people. So to offset it was because I wanted to be in gratitude. I wanted to create that flow of ingratiating and goodness and kindness and thoughtfulness in my life. So the minute I would see somebody that I didn't like, I would go find something to authentically go compliment her about. Or I would go befriend her. If we were working together, she became my buddy, right? Because I've learned it's always on the other side. That any thoughts you have, it's a seed for your tomorrow. As you are listening to me today, everything you're experiencing today is because of something you thought yesterday or the day before or last month. The only time we ever have is right now. So if you want a better tomorrow, right now is where you start changing your thoughts and your behavior. And that's how I started changing. I started stopping it and I will replace it. You don't get to create new ones, you just replace the existing ones. So, having said that, gratitude. The minute you want more in life, so you guys will listen to me, and some people will get the slide and they'll download the vision board and they'll go create a vision board. What I tell them is the minute you ask for more, the only way any adult human acquires more, Genie, Santa Claus, Lucky Charm, not coming. The only way we get more is we become more. And guess how an adult becomes more? They face the challenges, the setbacks, the denials, the naysayers, the fears, the doubts, the dissuasions, the critics. That's how you become more. If you want more money, guess what? You're probably going to end up start losing money, right? If you want to be, if you want to all of a sudden be healthy, then everywhere you go, it's going to be candy and food and stuff that triggers you. It's going to be in front of you. You want a great relationship? You're going to start dating frogs. There's going to be nightmares coming your way. Old boyfriends are going to start coming out the woodwork. You want a better job? You're going to go to work. You're going to get fired. You're going to have a nightmare boss. You're always going to be challenged to be more, to have the more. So this is where the gratitude comes in. No matter what you see, the belief is that I'm creating this lifestyle. So I'm just going to say thank you that comes my way because it's just making me more. You cannot upset me anymore because when you come in front of me and you're upset, well, I woke up every morning and say, I get to be a blessing. So, hey, you must have asked for a blessing. So here I am, right? And you're challenging me to be more. I know what my life is like. I'm happy. So I didn't do anything to make you upset. So you must need my more. How are you doing, right? So I just get to validate that I'm a blessing all day long, right? So again, it's going to feel like a struggle at first. The minute you decide you want more, start saying yes. Like I work with women who have businesses or multi-level marketing or in sales, for example, where they have teams. And the minute they decide they write these visions for this stuff, like I've had people write a vision for a better job and get fired in 2 weeks. And they get upset. I'm like, dude, that's awesome, right? You wrote this vision to be this incredible person at work. You've been working at this company for 12 years. You're having problems with your bosses, the coworkers, you don't like them. Guess what? Where do you get to recreate yourself better? At a brand new job where nobody doesn't like you, you get to go be the vision that you wrote of awesomeness, or you got to go convince all these people that have known you for a decade that you're a new person. And they're like, oh yeah, right? They get excited. Guess what? Next thing they know, they got a new job. It's the gratitude to understand that when you ask for more, you're going to face a challenge and the more is on the other side. Most of people never get to the more because they're so busy talking about the problem. They're talking about what didn't go right, what they didn't say, how unfair it was. Oh my God, I can't believe this happened. Oh, they said this, they did this. So they never get to the more because they never have a state of gratitude. And they're surrounded by people who don't even remind them, hey, didn't you say you wanted more? Weren't you the person that told me that you were like, right? And if you don't surround yourself with people who are doing this kind of work, you stay in the pit. So you're staying in the pit with all the pain, all the problems, all the pity parties. You will stay there. You must find and surround yourself with people who want more. So, oops, next. So, why is gratitude mandatory? Because it changes your emotions. You're in the habit of seeing the problem. The problem is linear, it's one thing. You're infinite. The only way to get to your infinite, to the infinite possibility of your creativity is by saying thank you. Staying in a state of calm and clarity, which I said earlier, well, all of a sudden you look at it and you're like, well, you know what? My vision, like when I have a problem at this point, I just generally go, I wonder what I asked for my vision where this is happening, or whatever it is, it's going to work itself out. And I go on about my business. And bam, within the same day, the next day, my mind will remind me, remember, 100 billion brain cells, it's a supercomputer that you're not accessing because you're in the pit of problems, pity party, right? Pain, you're staying there. When you elevate yourself out and say, thank you, it's working in my favor. I don't know how, but hey, it's gonna work in my favor. You'll be amazed at the ahas. I'm like, oh my God, wait, I know this. Oh my God, wait, like all day long, and it's a wonderful experience of a superpower, and you start to see you know so much more than you think you know, and you stop looking outside yourself. So I'm going to wrap up and give you guys a couple of things that I really want you to be able to instill and think about how to utilize them. And then you can ask me questions on anything I've said here, anything if you have an experience that you're having right now and you're like, man, I'd love to know how to handle this, that's a great question to ask me as well. So embrace uncertainty and comfortable as are your friends. When you are able to master being uncertain, uncomfortable, and inconvenienced and still look like you're pretty much spot on, that's when you will start to shine. Like I speak all the time, right? And I go places. I actually love when I go somewhere and the mic doesn't work or the projector doesn't work or it wasn't set up properly or something goes awry. I actually enjoy that because it's easy for me to do the regular. The fun part is to really get the people to experience what it means to in the face of circumstances to still shine, to have things work on your favor, to let my creative mind go to work on the behalf of the client. That's so much fun for me. But most people freak out when it doesn't go their way. Reminder, life rarely goes the way you think it should. Stop grabbing on to one way. There's an infinite number of ways that anything can be done, but you don't get to the infinite when you get stuck that it didn't go that one way. And that's what most people start freaking out on. They didn't do what they said they were going to do. So what? Doesn't mean that one monkey don't stop the show. It can still get done, but you won't get to that when you freak out and keep looking at the problem. So embracing uncertainty and uncomfortable as your friends, as an opportunity to experience the more that's inside of you is the gift. Experience renews your energy of aligning to your why. So when you're experiencing these things of uncertainty, whenever you struggle, if you're like starting, you're like, okay, this is supposed to work out in my favor. I don't know why. Go back to your why. Why are you doing this? Why are you here? Why did you say yes to this? When you go back to your why and get yourself in a state of calm, you will get energy and power again. And the challenge is most people don't know why they're doing stuff. And that's everything. Until you get your why, which is your North Star, and it's your internal guide, everything outside of you will take precedent over you. You must get clear on why you are doing your life, why you've decided to say yes to this. Sometimes once you start doing that, you'll start seeing a lot of stuff in your life. You're like, oh crap, I got to start telling people no, I got to pull back, and that's okay. Get your own North Star. What happens is we are in the era now where it's so much noise outside of you, and everybody has Facebook pays billions of dollars to keep you distracted. TikTok pays billions of dollars to keep you distracted. If you don't have a clear why, you will always be overwhelmed, frustrated, fearful, doubtful, The only way to start to get your courage and to get your inner voice champion is to have a clarified why. Establish a non-negotiable morning mindful routine. This is this when I say non-negotiable, if you won't give yourself at least 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes every morning, stop saying you want what you want because you really don't want it. This is the ultimate level of self-care. If you are not able to wake up and make the first 10 minutes your priority for you, for some act of gratitude, for meditating, for listening to something that just aligns you to calm and remind you and refreshes your mind of your why, you will never get where you want to get because your mind is everything. When you wake up, it's fresh and it's renewed, and it needs you to give it a guide in your GPS so you remind it every day what's most important to you. If you don't do that, everything, if you get up and look at social media, then you're always going to feel inadequate. If you get up and look at your emails, you're always going to feel inadequate. If you get up and look at your schedule, you're always going to feel inadequate, frustrated, overwhelmed. You must start making yourself the priority, non-negotiable. I won't even, I fire clients who don't do this. This is how serious it is for me. And I know, I just give them the guide and we get on the calls within 2 weeks. I can tell if they do it. They don't even have to tell me. I know because your responses will change so fast when you are consistent with giving yourself that morning time. Engage in regular acts of kindness and gratitude. Random acts of kindness can be as simple as when you think about somebody, sending them a text, going on the LinkedIn, writing someone a recommendation, remembering some product that you really liked and going on writing a referral, calling someone when you're prompted to, sending someone an email of appreciation, going to the dollar store and buying packs of cards and sending out little cards periodically. When you are able to be grateful and kind to others, you will start to believe you deserve it. The reason you don't think you deserve it because you're not giving it. It's the law of reciprocity. This is a law you cannot break. If you will remember what I said about self-care, you will not believe you deserve to receive it until you start to give it. And it's such a beautiful act that once you start doing it on a regular, ongoing basis, you will be amazed at how much you start to receive. You must start giving and participating in gratitude and kindness and appreciation in any form. You'll be amazed at how fast. I have had people who just started their days in gratitude and turned it around just from that act itself. So,
Well,
now I'm going to just wrap it up here. Just to remind you, if you've listened to anything I've said, you understand that you've always had the power. Everything you need is inside of you. I have not given you anything that is hard to find, hard to do. It's the consistency is the hardest thing of everything I said. And that is difficult, but it's not impossible. That's the work I do. So you win. You always win. You are amazing. You're unique, right? Again, there'll never be another you. There is no one like you. And when you embrace that and when you love it, other people will follow suit. So this is what I actually do is I do work with the vision. So if you go to this link and you just sign up, you can get a free download. I recently did one. I did the one this year because I do one every year. And so you'll get that recording that I recently did that goes with the free download that I did on January 9th. Okay. And then you could probably put that in chat and then I can go for the screen. And the last screen is just thank you. Well, I don't know why we haven't updated that picture because if you see how long my dreadlocks are, it's a very, very old picture.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you very much. We have some really good questions that people have put up on chat. They're so good. I don't know how we'll get to all of them, but one, really, because they're kind of in depth, many of them. Okay. One of them was, how important is friendship? What do you do with the negative people in terms of friendship and family that could be toxic to your vision? This is like every time I present, this is the thing, right? So understand that they're not toxic to your vision. They've just known you.
They know the backstory, right? And remember that, like, until you decided to change, you were hanging out with them, you were sitting there complaining with them, you were gossiping with them, you were drinking with them, right? So don't start judging them now that you want to change. They haven't invested. They're not making that decision with you. So stop trying to get everybody to go with you.
Yeah.
Just do it, right? The whole point of trusting yourself is trusting yourself, not anyone else. So if it was easy, everybody would do it. And the toxic is you're the only reason they're toxic is because you want them to applaud you for saying yes to you instead of understanding they're not gonna say yes. Right? I tell people I went through everything with my mother. There was a point with my mother where I was at her house and I was literally packing up to go because I said, I cannot disrespect you, but I can't not say yes to you. I don't know how to say yes to me and you. So I'm just like, right now, I'm making you massively uncomfortable by taking care of me, and I'm so sorry. So what I did to make my life easy is I just kept apologizing to them because I had decided that I was going to give them just a little bit of what I had. So I was not going to go against them. I wasn't going to fight them. I wasn't going to try to convince them. I'm just trying to take care of Michelle and honor the voices that are inside of me. I know you got ones inside of you. I don't know what you're doing it, but I'm just trying to listen to what's inside of me. And I'm sorry if that's hurting you because I don't mean you any disrespect. And that's what I would say. And I don't want to talk about this anymore. That'd be about it.
Okay. Thank
Did
you.
that make sense? And was that helpful to the question? And that person could just type in chat.
Yeah, they probably will. How about this one? How do you go about with a softer tone when people say you are loud? I feel like I don't recognize it.
So when people say you are loud, I generally ask people, like, I know I'm loud. Right? I have a very strong voice, and you kind of heard me take it down a little bit and go back and fluctuate. So I generally will ask people, when you say I'm loud, are you meaning that my voice is loud or it's strong? And is it somewhere that you have to be? So there is a lot more to that question. I don't know if it's the space where you're having that you need to be, or is it a space where, you know what, now that if they don't really appreciate the tone of my voice, maybe I need to go somewhere else that appreciates my voice. So there could be more to that question that I'm not clear on at this time.
Okay. Is there a worry about being too self-absorbed?
So the pendulum swings both ways. So if your pendulum has been swinging to the place where you've been a codependent and a doormat, really looking for people to ingratiate you and appreciate you, really seeking for other people to validate you, generally what's going to happen is you're going to swing the other way where you don't give two craps what they say. So before it balances out. So just understand that you're on a journey. And when you create the vision, right? So what I help people write the vision, everybody that I work with, the vision is that you're valuable to others. Your gift is not about you just honoring you. Your gift is for the world because it ain't about you. When you take care of yourself and love yourself, you're more able to be compassionate with others. And remember, other people haven't done the journey and the work, so they're still in pain. If they're coming against you, it's not you they're coming against. You just happen to be the person there in their pain, right? So that's what people keep taking it personal. It's not personal. You're just gotta, but what if, I heard it said before, hurting people hurt people. That's why it's so important that you take care of yourself first thing in the morning so you're equipped. So when someone comes into your sphere and they haven't done self-development work, they haven't done internal work, they're in pain, they're screaming out, that you stop taking it personal and understand that maybe your presence in their life is to help and be a gift to them. But you can't be a gift if you're so busy thinking they're against you.
Good. That's a good point. Can you clarify what a clear vision means? Like maybe give examples so we can understand how clear it needs to be. What specifically do we visualize? I want to write a blog, but I have a lot of trouble staying focused when I have time to write. Should I take time every night visualizing me typing without getting distracted or getting writer's block? So this person needs to know,
Yeah,
more concrete.
I totally understand the question. So then I back up. So then I ask you a follow-up question, right? It's like, why do you want to write a blog? See, you're telling me what? I need to know why, right? So going back and asking yourself why you're doing what you do, we call it the 5 whys. When you can clearly answer why, right? Why am I writing a blog? Well, because I want to be a writer. Why do you want to be a writer? Well, because of, so when you can clearly answer that confidently and get down to that level, you peel back the layers, and that's where you start to find your drive, right? And then you start looking at stacking habits, right? So if you want to write, many times what I tell people, start small and create the consistency. So some people like try to set aside an hour a week. It's easier to just write 10 minutes a day, right? So you'll get more. So that I work with people in creating the consistency. I'm masterful at habits because why? I suck at them. If it took somebody 60 days to create an exercise habit, it took me almost 4 years, right? Like I lost and gained and Jenny Craig and I did all the stuff, right? And so I know what's happening in people's head when they're trying to be consistent. I'm not the person that's going to tell you, stop, you can do this. I'm actually going to say, what were you thinking when you didn't do it, right? So I'm going to ask you a question because I know what the voice, the critic, and how to help you turn, because it's the voice in your head that's either telling you you can or reminding you why you deserve not to.
Right, right, right. This is, I think, something like that. When I was working at the EVP level, I never allowed my meetings before 8 because my morning workout was non-negotiable. I struggle with meditation. What is your view on meditation and any suggestions to create a daily meditation routine?
Yes, meditation is you're training your mind so that unconscious chatter, you're training it to quiet it. You're actually able to stay in the present, right? Remember, the only time you ever have in life is right now. Many times people are waiting to do stuff. They're telling themselves, I'll do it later. You're telling yourself a story right now, even as you're listening to me. And all you have is now. You don't have tomorrow, and yesterday is gone. So meditation empowers you to make the best decision now and quiet the chatter so that you clearly, your mind's eye goes to the vision that you created for your future. And the clear and compelling vision is meant to come from inside of you. Some people mix up vision and a goal. A goal is a having, a vision is a being. A goal is an endpoint and a destination. It's a goalpost. A vision is a lighthouse. It makes you a beacon. A vision is about you developing your character in the face of circumstances. A vision is meant to make you massively uncomfortable so that you say yes to the fear. A goal is just what you can do. If I do this 5 times, I'll get that. If I do this every day, I'll get that. That's what a goal is. So understand that creating something small, think small, think consistent, create the habit. If you really want to, what you want, create the habit. You always get the result. Weight loss industry, $1 trillion industry, because they get you to a goal. If that industry had truly was healthy, it wouldn't even exist, because what they would have did was taught a generation to be healthy, and that generation would have taught their kids to be healthy, and so forth and so on. So there would be no weight loss industry. So they're not helping you. It's not healthy. Healthy is a habit and a mindset of being. So that's the difference between a goal and a habit. Look at stacking, something you already do every day, and add 10, 15 minutes to it, and you'll be amazed at what you're able to do.
That is great information. And one last question that somebody asked, if we will be sending the recording of this. And, it's going to be on our website. So you can, if you came in late, we saw a lot of people still coming in, even up to the last minute. You will be able to see this on our website. And I just want to, I think that's everybody can check these comments if there were just a couple of comments, but not real questions. We just want to really thank Michelle. We've enjoyed this so much. This has been a great hour with you. And I hope you enjoyed it, because we really did.
This is like espresso. So I will literally have trouble going to sleep tonight because it's later for me. And this is like when I talk about your why.
Yeah.
This is my why. I come
Yeah.
from my background is helping people to understand that we have the power, because so much of what the world tells you is go do this. You have to, need to, ought to, should. No, you don't.
Right.
No.
Right. Well, I encourage everyone to rewatch this because, you know, like you said, there was just so much that you were telling us. And I think I am going to need a refresher because I was taking it in, but I was like, okay, I know I can go back. So I'm sure a lot of us are going to want to do that. And that's great. That's the beauty of our technology. So I just really want to thank Michelle so much for being here. And, you know, we will want to keep in touch with you and, check in with you all the time and have you be part of our Murray Hill Institute, you know. And so if anybody, does anyone have anything else to say? Teresa, we're going to just one little bit of housekeeping, which I'll tell you about next month because we have our monthly things. We have Ann Brennan coming back and she's going to talk on, this is March 9th. She's going to start discussing getting the money that you deserve, getting the money and a raise and how you would approach that and what you think about strategies for that. And she's going to have her daughter on. So that's March 9th. And we'll have more about that on our website. But for right now, I just wanted to tell you how much we enjoyed you, Michelle. So
yeah, one quick thing, Michelle, is it okay if some people have additional questions, if they send it to us or send it to you? If they send it to us, can we forward them to you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. They can, here. I'll just, I put the thing for someone asked for the vision board link and I put that in there and they can email me directly.
yeah.
That would be great.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, this is what I do. This is, as they say, this is my meat, right?
We enjoyed eating it. So thank you again. And I think we'll sign off and let everyone go and think about these things and, you know, make a difference in their life.
Yeah.
So
Thank
great.
you, ladies, for having
All
me.
right. Thank you, Michelle. And thank you everyone else for coming tonight. We're happy. We couldn't see all your faces, but we're happy that you joined us and we hope to see you next month. So good night, everybody.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Thank you.
Bye.